It's the What a Weird Week podcast for Easter weekend 2023. We have a story about eggs. Dinosaur eggs, though.
Hi, everybody, it's Weird.
This is like crazy being here. Like
Really weird tales.
Well, I got a great show for you today with some wonderful weird stuff.
Thanks for checking out the What a Weird Week podcast. Dropping a little late or uploading a little late or posting a little late because took Easter weekend off. If you are new here, every Friday we do a Weird News of the Week Top 10. And you can check out the audio podcast wherever you get those. You can check out the YouTube podcast wherever you, well, no, only where you get YouTube on the YouTubes. And also you can check out all the show notes too. We do up a blog post. All of that you can find if you go to shownotes.page. How was that intro? I loved it.
10.
Number 10, how young is the world's youngest published author? Child publishes book and all unpublished authors who are older than 4 feel like failures. That was my sub-headline. A boy from the United Arab Emirates, who's 4 years old, 4 and 218 days, has published a book called The Elephant, Saeed, and the Bear. The book is about kindness and an elephant and a polar bear, and to be an official Guinness record, you have to sell at least 1,000 copies. This book has done that. So, 5 years old, less than 5 years old, published author. It's supposed to be a uplifting story, and the book is about kindness and all that. I just feel bad because I am unpublished, and I had a polar bear story. I was kicking around a few polar bear ideas. Can't do it now.
9.
Number 9, how old is the world's oldest surfer? Now, this one was in the news on Saturday Night Live. Maybe you saw this on the late night shows. 89 years old is how old the world's oldest surfer is. An 89-year-old Japanese man who seems very chill is the oldest surfer in the world, according to the Guinness Book of World Records. So think of your birthday, your birth year. Got it? Locked it in? The world's oldest surfer, born in 1933. He'll be turning 90 in September. Guinness Book of World Records. I have to say, too, if you want to see the photos, I mean, the fellow looks incredibly fit. Something about the surfing lifestyle, you guys. If you don't get eaten by a shark, if you don't get run over by a steam trawler, then I think, it's good for you. It seems to be healthy. Citation needed.
8.
Number 8, lady doing this while hula hooping sets a world record. It's roller skating backwards, you guys. That's what the lady did. A 54-year-old lady in Las Vegas set the Guinness record for the longest time backwards roller skating while hula hooping. 33 minutes and 1 second. Lady named Veronica, inspired to combine 2 things that she loves to set a world record. So maybe you're like, I can't set a world record. None of them appeal to me. Did you think about maybe 2 things, combining 2 things you love? Like Veronica did, hula hooping and skating backwards? Maybe it's eating pizza and watching TV. I don't know. Those are 2 wonderful things that go good together.
7.
Turns out that's not a category, you guys. Shout out to my research team.
7.
Giant spoon theft shakes community. See what I did there? Shakes, because, it's the Dairy Queen story. Dairy Queen in Phoenix. Somebody stole their giant red spoon, 15-foot tall spoon. Was it a prank? Was it a giant who needed a spoon to eat soup? We just don't have all the data yet. The DQ started a Where's Our Spoon social media campaign that really took off. Replacement value of the giant spoon, by the way, around $7,000. So a few days after that story broke, a guy playing Pokemon Go spotted the giant spoon in a middle school baseball field a couple miles away from the DQ. And they strapped it on the roof of the police cruiser. And I assume this part, but pretty sure, sent it right to the CIA offices in Langley to have it dusted for fingerprints. Giant fingerprints. I would assume that spoon would have giant fingerprints. A giant took the spoon, you guys, is my theory.
6.
What actually was that rock they threw in a drawer? Via the Natural History Museum article from late last week, the background on this, a pretty crystal that was cataloged by the Natural History Museum in 1883. This is an inspiring story. Like, don't ever give up, even if you're a rock. 1883, this thing was cataloged. And, it was pretty. It was a nice rock, but they thought it was insignificant and got thrown in a drawer or piled up or whatever they do with the rocks, stacked neatly somewhere. And then 130 something years later, after that rock was filed away, somebody from the museum saw the same thing at a mineral show in France. Turns out it's not just a pretty rock, it's a dinosaur egg, you guys. Photos in the show notes.
5,
Carl Noodle Jr., you are on notice, sir. Company that puts out cup noodles brand ramen has introduced delicious breakfast noodles. This was all over the news, so maybe you saw this. Probably not news to you about the ramen noodles that taste like egg, sausage, maple syrup. It's a whole breakfast in noodle form. And coincidentally, this is why I put Carl Noodle Jr. on notice. And by the way, I'm pretty sure that's the name of the CEO of the cup noodle company. I think it's Carl Noodle Jr. who's in charge now. Somebody told me that anyway, and I didn't bother researching it. Carl Noodle Jr., you guys. That's where we have to focus all our anger. Because I've been workshopping this idea where you slice up pancakes, maple syrup, you put it in a cup, boom, pancake slurry. I'm trying to get a fast food company to take a chance on me and start serving up the pancake slurry. We're going to be millionaires, right? So, I'm slogging it out. I'm beating the pavement. I'm knocking on doors. And then I find out Carl Noodle Jr. and his company coming out with basically the same thing. This was going to be my thing, Carl. Come on.
4,
Number 4, the latest on Pablo Escobar's hippos. This was in the news. Maybe you caught this. The government of Colombia going to spend millions to remove a bunch of hippos, which were brought in there by Pablo Escobar, the late drug kingpin. He brought in 4 hippos from Africa in the 1980s. Those hippos don't have any natural predators in Colombia. Pablo Escobar, fatally shot by the police, famously fatally shot, 1993. So then the Pablo Ranch was abandoned. Those animals just let loose, I guess. The hippos have made babies like crazy, and now there's like 130 hippos inhabiting the area. Again, not native to Colombia and no natural predators. They're bad for the ecosystem. They are dangerous for human beings to be near. And apparently, also, this is science, they're hungry all the time. They're hungry hippos, you guys. That's what I read.
3,
Little girl commits credit card fraud. Amazingly. This is just one of those cute stories you see in the news about how little children can lead you to financial ruin. This happened in Massachusetts. Mom lets her 5-year-old girl play with the cell phone to pass the time in the car. That kid racked up nearly $4,000 in bills, buying little motorbikes and cowgirl boots on Amazon. Mom thought little Lila was playing games, not committing credit card theft. Kid bought 5 little kid pink dirt bikes, 5 kid-sized blue dirt bikes, 10 pairs of cowgirl boots, and a little kid battery-powered Jeep. Those targeted ads, you guys, even when you're 5 years old, they chase you down, and the ads show you, in a moment of weakness, little blue dirt bikes.
2,
Big wig makes big wig. Oh my gosh, I thought I was being hilarious when I wrote that headline. Big wig makes big wig. I know it's not funny, but I can't help. I cracked myself up. Someone in Australia has made the biggest, widest wig in the world. The biggest wig in the world is more than 8 feet across. The base is a bike helmet. So if you're wondering how to get started on your own wig project, start with a bike helmet. Makes a lot of sense. So congratulations to Danny Reynolds. It looks like we do have photos in the show notes, but if you don't have a chance to click, it looks like the person in the photo is being eaten by a giant wig monster. It's quite fantastic.
1,
Number 1, how big is the world's biggest mustache? A guy in South Carolina has the biggest mustache in the world. It's 2 foot 1 inch wide. It's the longest. Okay, the record, this is weird, you guys. So this fellow has the 2 foot 1 mustache, right? And in the Guinness Book of World Records, it officially is the longest mustache on a living person, which, brings up some questions. Are there records for dead mustaches? Like, why did they have to word it that way? That's odd, right? Weird, maybe even. Should have said weird. It's good branding. The branding department is like, say weird as much as possible. It's the Weird Week podcast, Scott. constantly letting down the branding department. That's me. So let's stop there, but you can get all the show notes in that. And if you would like to subscribe to the YouTube channel, appreciate that. Anything else you need, podcast stuff, go shownotes.page. That's the easiest thing to remember, shownotes.page, and you can get back to it all. Thanks for checking out What a Weird Week.